Tonight, struck on the side of the road.
The big part here is I think 2 people are dead because of an impaired driver.
What we know so far about a fatal crash in South Winnipeg. Also tonight, a need for speed.
I see a lot of cars not doing the speed limit. A lot of guys are checking for traffic and just doing drag races down here.
The staggering amount of tickets police are handing out and what cops are doing about the issue. Plus, a celebration dashed.
We have so many people that come to the event, and we couldn't knowingly put people at risk.
Why a Pride event in Steinbach was canceled over the weekend.
CTV News. Live from downtown Winnipeg with Marilee Caruso.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us. 2 people are dead after being hit by a vehicle over the weekend, and tonight the driver of that vehicle is facing impaired driving charges. It happened at around 9:30 Saturday night. Emergency crews were called to the scene on Kenniston Boulevard, just south of IKEA.
The investigation determined that a pickup truck traveling at a high rate of speed southbound on Kenniston Boulevard near Enterprise Drive drove onto the shoulder, striking 2 people. The driver failed to remain on scene and drove off.
A 31-year-old man was found dead at the scene, and a 25-year-old woman was taken to hospital where she died from her injuries. Police say a bicycle was found near the scene of the crash, but investigators are still trying to determine what happened leading up to the collision.
That's why we're appealing to the public. If they have any dash cam footage, or if they were driving by in the area at the time, to be able to provide this to police.
Officers located the suspect nearby. A 46-year-old man is now charged with 2 counts of dangerous driving causing death, 2 counts of impaired driving causing death, and for failing to stop at the scene of an accident. He remains in custody. Winnipeg police say the truck that hit those cyclists was also speeding, and according to recent data, it's all too common. Police Chief Gene Bowers says over 3 months, officers wrote more than 3,800 speeding tickets. CTV's Jeff Keel shows you what police are doing to slow things down.
Jeff Brown walks his dog twice a day and says sometimes drivers zoom by him.
I see a lot of cars not doing the speed limit. A lot of guys are checking for traffic and just doing drag races down here.
The high speeds worry Brown.
Yeah, a little bit of safety with people walking. There's some elderly people in the neighborhood, and I'm concerned for their safety as well.
Winnipeg Police Chief Gene Bowers told the Winnipeg Police Board Friday they are focusing on road safety, targeting speeders.
We wanted to concentrate on speeding because speeding causes serious injury and death.
He says in the second quarter of this year, officers handed out more than 3,800 speeding tickets, the most they've seen in at least 5 years.
And we see speed as definitely an issue when it comes to safety on the streets.
Recent surveys done by CAA show 82% of Manitobans are concerned about speeding, while 90% of parents reported seeing dangerous driving around schools, including speeding.
We know that speed kills. We know that it's one of the quickest and easiest things we can do as motorists to ensure safety, and even small reductions have a noticeable impact.
In an attempt to reduce speeds, the city recently placed these removable calming curbs in various locations to see if they should be made permanent. Here on Cambridge Street, some homeowners told CTV News the curbs aren't slowing anyone down. Jeff Brown says he's in favor of the curbs staying put as he's noticed a minimal impact.
It's helped a little bit, but we'll still see the occasional speeders, but it definitely has helped somewhat.
Jeff Keel, CTV News, Winnipeg.
Bowers also told the police board officers issued close to 900 distracted driving tickets during the same period. A crash closed the North Perimeter Highway this morning. RCMP responded to the scene around 7:45 on the perimeter, just west of the McPhillip Street turnoff. The crash and cleanup closed the perimeter for several hours. The highway didn't reopen until after 11 o'clock. No word yet on any injuries or charges. And a 77-year-old woman was killed in a crash on the Trans-Canada Highway Saturday night. RCMP say an SUV was heading south on Provincial Road 250 and tried to cross the highway. A truck heading west on the highway T-boned the SUV. The woman driving the SUV died from her injuries, and a 78-year-old man was critically injured. 2 people in the truck were not hurt. The annual Steinbach Pride Parade March and Rally typically draws hundreds of people, but this year the streets were quiet as the event was canceled due to threats made against one of the performers. CTV's Datin Unger reports.
Steinbach Pride organizers were forced to cancel the annual march and rally this weekend over threats made against one of the performers.
We just decided we have so many children and we have so many families and we have so many people that come to the event. And we couldn't knowingly put people at risk.
Steinbach Pride President Chris Plett says a far-right group had made comments threatening to disrupt the event. He says it came in retaliation to the shooting of 31-year-old Charlie Kirk.
It really heated up the whole environment when it comes to LGBTQI rights and relationships between LGBTQ people and some of the more right-thinking groups that are out there.
Kirk, a dominant figure in conservative U.S. politics with a large base among evangelical Christians, was shot and killed last week. Authorities have alleged the suspect carried a hatred for Kirk and in recent years veered towards what officials described as a leftist ideology.
We have witnessed a growing social polarization based on intolerance of other groups.
Adjunct Professor Kausar Ahmed at the University of Winnipeg studies radicalism and violent extremism. He says given a growing polarization driven by echo chambers on social media, he wasn't surprised to hear of the threats made to Steinbach Pride. But he says the events of the past week should be a wake-up call.
Many say that, it's not my problem, sort of attitude. So this kind of things, they're not helping because we need to deploy our narratives of correctness, justice, and equality.
For Plett, his message to those behind the threats.
People who are threatening the general public, that's not a winner. The winners are the people who want to keep people safe and want to keep people protected from harm.
Datin Unger, CTV News, Winnipeg.
Federal investigators are headed to the site of a fatal small aircraft crash in northern Manitoba. It happened Saturday night just before 7, killing 4 people and leaving the pilot seriously injured. The crash happened approximately 40 kilometers south of St. Teresa Point First Nation near Makepeace Lake. RCMP say the DH-C2 Beaver aircraft departed St. Teresa Point en route to Makepeace Lake. At the crash scene, Mounties confirmed the 20-year-old male pilot suffered serious but non-life-threatening injuries. 2 male passengers, 53 and 49 years old, along with 2 50-year-old female passengers, all from St. Teresa Point, were pronounced dead on scene. Things are looking up for Manitoba early childhood educators. A recent survey found more than half have noticed their wages have gone up and more are satisfied with their jobs. Probe Research surveyed more than 800 members of the Manitoba Childcare Association. It found 81% of ECEs are satisfied overall with their job, and 93% say they get a sense of accomplishment from their work. 54% have noticed a wage increase, and ECEs are staying longer and mostly staying put. The average tenure in the industry is 17.2 years, up significantly from 2016. But the Manitoba Child Care Association says there's still more work to do.
The primary gap is that we're still seeing significant staffing shortages. So directors are reporting that 1 1/3 facilities are still working on operational licenses where they may not have enough of the regulated ECE 2s or 3s to meet proportionate trained staff. 22% of directors are closing spaces perhaps temporarily because of staff shortages.
Jody Kale says more needs to be done to improve working conditions for ECEs. For example, she says more paid time off the floor for curriculum planning and meeting families. Ottawa wants to start a housing boom. The federal government plans to spend billions to build 4,000 new homes on 6 federally owned sites across Canada. And as CTV's John Hendrick shows you, Winnipeg is one of the cities on the list.
If the Carney government gets its way, a lot more developments like this one will soon begin springing up in Winnipeg and across the country.
Quickly leverage public lands for housing so projects are de-risked, approvals are greenlit, and builders can do what they do best, which is to build.
As part of the newly developed Build Canada Homes Agency, the federal government plans to spend $13 billion to speed up affordable home building and the permitting process. But unlike traditional builds, which are typically done on site, the new agency will prioritize the use of modern methods of construction, including factory-built modular homes, like these ones from Winkler's Grander Housing.
It's really fantastic to watch because it is literally an assembly line where the unit moves through.
Lanny McInnes, the president of the Manitoba Home Builders Association, says these sorts of homes are fully code compliant and would work in Manitoba's harsh climate. The plan is to build a total of 4,000 new homes in Canada, something housing experts say is a positive step.
There's also questions about once you build these units, who's going to manage them and how are they going to be allocated to the various people in need.
Questions that can only be answered once the sites are selected and the homes actually built. But Lanny McInnes is optimistic about this program.
We see the announcement as being very positive, that will help not just deal with the shortage of affordable housing, but could help housing right across the spectrum.
Construction on the first round of projects is expected to begin next year. John Hendricks, CTV News, Winnipeg.
A horde of dinosaurs invaded Steinbach Saturday. Safe Families Canada held its 5th annual Dino Dash. The event featured about 20 inflatable dinosaurs racing to the finish line. All proceeds support the organization's local chapter. It's actually one of its biggest fundraisers of the year.
We have businesses that and churches and individuals and small groups that sponsor a T-Rex costume. They get to put in a racer of their choice, and we have a big Dino Dash race at the end of our fundraiser event. Our job is so serious in Safe Families, and so we really needed to bring some fun and levity. And who doesn't love seeing a giant inflatable dinosaur running? I mean, it's incredible.
Apparently a lot of people like it because the Dino Dash this year raised more than $20,000.
CTV Skywatch weather brought to you by South Beach Casino and Resort. Visit southbeachcasino.ca.
Colleen, good thing that Dino Dash was on Saturday and not today, because I think the winds, those strong winds we've been seeing today, might have caused some problems for those inflatables.
No kidding. Every once in a while I see one of those dinosaurs running through downtown Winnipeg, but that's another story. But yeah, it's been windy, but it's also been very warm and very humid. And we have very hot by mid-September standards. Air mass sitting right over southern Manitoba. It's very unstable, and no surprise, it's triggering non-severe thunderstorms and showers all across the southern half of the province and into northwestern Ontario. Showers and thunderstorms also expected tonight in parts of the north. Now, Environment Canada has issued a couple of weather alerts as we head into this Monday evening. Areas in the southwest, including Brandon, under a special weather statement. There is the potential for funnel clouds to develop there. Over to the east, we have a severe thunderstorm watch in effect for many areas, and even an outright warning early this evening. But back to the southwest, again, we have this very warm, unseasonably warm air mass over southern Manitoba tonight, and that's caused the possibility that we could see funnel clouds develop in the southwest tonight. So do keep your eyes on the sky if you are in those communities. The threat of funnel cloud development lasts until this evening. So again, we have a few hours to go yet. Over in eastern Manitoba, we have a severe thunderstorm watch in effect for all these areas lighting up in yellow, and that spills over the border into northwestern Ontario. Now, early this evening, we do have one severe thunderstorm, or a line of them, passing through the Poplar River area. But again, for the next few hours until well into this evening, there is the potential for thunderstorms to develop that could become severe in those communities. And we're talking heavy rain, very strong wind gusts, and sizable hail. So this is what it looks like. It's not just those areas under the watch that have to be concerned about the potential for thunderstorm development. We could see thunderstorms really across much of the province this evening, and even overnight in some cases. And into Tuesday, we'll see more rain sort of focused on the eastern side of the province, but a little bit is possible as well on the western side. Still another very warm day ahead tomorrow by mid-September standards for Manitoba and northwestern Ontario. For tonight from Winnipeg, speaking of warm, our overnight low is 18 degrees. For perspective, 18 is now the normal high for this time of year. Showers showers or thunderstorms are quite possible, particularly this evening. Strong south winds at 40 with wind gusts up to 60 kilometers an hour. Tomorrow, the winds will be strong and gusty, just not quite as strong, and the direction will change. They'll come from the west. 19 for the commute Tuesday morning. There is a lower chance of showers, and that takes us right through the day. Up to 24 degrees again. The normal high is 18, so still very warm for this time of year. Quick swing around the province takes us up first into the northeast. Showers or thunderstorms possible tonight in Churchill, down through Gillam, Island Lake, Thompson. You may see some fog developing overnight. Warm in these areas, double-digit overnight lows. More showers tomorrow, a little bit windy for Churchill. The temperature holding steady at around 10 degrees, but you can see as warm as 18 for Island Lake. Thompson, the temperature holds fairly steady, only rising a couple of degrees in the rain. Fog quite possible tonight in the Norway House and Lynn Lake areas. Overnight lows there, 16 and 14 respectively. 16 overnight for Flin Flon and the Paw, cloudy there. And around the northwest tomorrow again, a good chance of showers, maybe thunderstorms with very warm highs in the mid to upper teens. In the southwest tonight, Brandon, Neepawa down to 14. Showers or thunderstorms quite possible there. And again, those are two of the communities under that funnel cloud advisory. Dauphin and Swan River, 14, 15 degrees overnight, and showers or thunderstorms are quite possible there. Now, Swan River and Dauphin tomorrow. Again, there is the low chance of showers. Not as much for Brandon and Neepawa. Up to 20 degrees for Brandon, cloudy there. Winnipeg in the southeast tonight, showers or thunderstorms quite possible. Areas to the north and to the east of the city under that severe thunderstorm watch. Overnight lows between 16 and 18 degrees. Tomorrow, not quite as warm, but still very warm for this time of year in the low to mid-20s. Winnipeg 24, mix of sun and cloud with a low chance of showers in the city, a little greater. The odds are for showers to the east. Speaking of, heading into northwestern Ontario tonight, showers earlier this evening for Kenora and Dryden. Watch out for thunderstorms there. And then tomorrow for Fort Frances, the chance of showers shifts to your community. But look at these highs, 27 degrees tomorrow for Fort Frances and Kenora and Dryden, pretty warm as well. Back to Winnipeg, quick look at your long-range forecast, 21 degrees for Wednesday, mix of sun and cloud. Then Thursday, Friday, Saturday, cloudy. All of those days, at least the chance of showers, upper teens to low 20s, your daytime highs, and then 22 under a mix of sun and cloud. Let's take a look through the Bath Fitter Live Eye. Bath Fitter, your bath and shower experts for more than 40 years. Right now in the city, 22 degrees, mostly cloudy. It feels like 28. Winds out of the south at 30 kilometers an hour. The pressure's dropping and the humidity is 77%. Let's take a look at some weather photos. Beautiful aurora borealis, very active last night, including over Whiteshell Provincial Park. That photo is from Robert. Just stunning, isn't it? And you can see those fall leaves piling up along the Seine River. That photo is from Dean. Email us yours to winnipegweather@ctv.ca.
According to the Public Health Agency of Canada, there were 371 opioid-related deaths in Manitoba last year alone. And on Saturday, community members gathered at the Forks to raise awareness about the dangers of recreational drug use and fentanyl poisoning. The Fentanyl Awareness Day walk started at O'Dana Circle, marching through downtown Winnipeg and ending at the legislature for Remembrance Rally. Organizers say this is a fight to save lives, focusing on bringing awareness to the risks of recreational drug use.
This event was one to honor the lives lost, and support the families going through the grieving process, give them a safe place to grieve, and to bring that awareness. Because it's school year now, kids are in school, meeting new friends, and their chances of trying a new drug through peer pressure increases dramatically. So we want to start that conversation around fentanyl poisoning.
Foree says 95% of recent substance-related deaths in the province involve fentanyl. Close to $1 billion has been raised for cancer research since the Terry Fox's original Marathon of Hope back in 1980, and nearly 1,000 Winnipeggers helped keep Fox's legacy alive this weekend. Participants laced up their runners Sunday at Assiniboine Park. Organizers say this year's turnout and fundraising effort both exceeded expectations. The original goal was $67,000 and was later bumped up to $90,000. One of the organizers says hitting $100,000 by the end of the month is now a believable goal.
Every year since 2022, the momentum has gotten more and more, so it's like an avalanche snowball effect where we're getting more and more volunteers and more people coming to run and more donations coming in, so it's outstanding, the response of the people.
All proceeds from the run go directly to cancer research.
Medical Watch is brought to you by Manukin Koster Denture Clinic. Spotlight, sponsored by the Casinos of Winnipeg, presenting Tom Papa.
We kick Spotlight off with the biggest night in television. The Emmy Awards were handed out last night, and Seth Rogen's The Studio was the big winner.
And now the Emmy for lead actor in a comedy series goes to Seth Rogen, The Studio.
The Studio took home a total of 13 Emmys, breaking the all-time record for a comedy series. Rogen himself won 4 Emmys, tying the record won by a single person in one night. And 15-year-old adolescent star Owen Cooper became the youngest male to ever win an Emmy, winning Best Supporting Actor in a limited or anthology series.
Standing up here is just, wow, it's just so surreal. Honestly, when I started these drama classes a couple of years back, I didn't expect to be even in the United States, never mind here. But I think tonight proves that if you listen and you focus and you step out your comfort zone, you can achieve anything in life.
One of the evening's most interesting moments came when Stephen Colbert's The Late Show won the Emmy for Talk Series.
The Emmy goes to The Late Show with Stephen Colbert.
The win was even more poignant and ironic given the decision earlier this year by CBS to cancel the show. During his acceptance speech, Colbert mentioned he initially wanted the show to be about love.
At a certain point, and you can guess what that point was, I realized that in some ways we were doing a late night comedy show about loss. And that's related to love, because sometimes you only truly know how much you love something when you get a sense that you might be losing it. And 10 years later, in September of 2025, my friends, I have never loved my country more desperately. God bless America. Stay strong, be brave, and if the elevator tries to bring you down, go crazy and punch a higher floor.
Meantime, an animated flick topped the box office this weekend. The latest title in the Demon Slayer franchise brought in $70 million US across North America, smashing Hollywood estimates. That was more than enough to push last weekend's winner, The Conjuring Last Rites, to second place with just over $26 million. Downton Abbey, the grand finale, bowed in third on ticket sales of $18.1 million. And fans of the Winnipeg Blue Bombers took to the field yesterday. The football club held its annual Fan Appreciation Day at Princess Auto Stadium. Fans got to meet some of the players who were signing posters, hats, and other merchandise. The Bombers now have a record of 6-7 following Friday's loss to Hamilton. The Blue and Gold will face Ottawa this Saturday at 2 o'clock.
Women's clothing provided by RW & Company. Salon services provided by S&T Spa Salon.
Hopefully these nice temperatures we've been experiencing for the most part will continue for that Bombers game Saturday.
I hope so. It won't be quite as warm and maybe not as humid, but pretty good for mid-September standards.
All right, that does it for us now, but don't forget to tune in for CTV News at 11:30 with Taylor Brock. See you back here tomorrow.
Good night.